Hi, this is Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to Star Wars Reactions. Good for you.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
In 1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All of it.
One of resistance,
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
rebellion,
Rebellion is built on hope.
and redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Reactions. We're back with another fantastic episode. Welcome to the 131st episode of Star Wars Reactions. We're going to have a great time this week as we sit back and enjoy another fantastic vintage reaction episodes. So let's get the introductions out of the way. I am Aaron Harris, and joining me is the Poplu to my wicket, the David Motters. David, brother, what's up?
What's up? Hey man, I'm enjoying these vintage reactions episodes and covering Ewoks. It's just fun. And so whenever you and I get a chance to sit down and record these, because you and I did not watch them back in the day for various reasons. So I'm really looking forward to recording another one with you, and I'm ready to react.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a fantastic show. I do look forward to these because, like you said, I am watching these for the very first time myself because I never got to watch them growing up. So it's going to be great. And tonight we are, well, I say tonight because we're recording this at night. But for this episode, we're discussing the 8th episode of the series of the first season, The Land of the Gupins. This, of course, was released on October 26th of 1985, written by Bob Carew and directed by Raymond Chaffalice. Anyway, I never get that name. I always struggle with that name. I don't know why. But anyway, sit back and relax as I bring you the synopsis for this episode. And literally, I mean, sit down and relax because David wrote this one and it's like uber long. He wrote a doctoral dissertation on this episode. So let's
Uber long. I apologize.
No, don't. It's perfect. So grab your coffee, grab a snack, and let's go. This episode begins with Poplu coming across Wicket, Nisa, and Tebow talking to Ring Ring, the Gupin. Ring Ring ends up caught in a reap's nest, followed by Wicket and Poplu. Nisa and Tebow help them escape. However, another Gupin was saved as well, Ring Ring's brother, Obel. We learn that Ring Ring has left his people because he hasn't developed his wings. He's worried about being judged. Obel says that it is time for the renewal ceremony. This involves the opening of the juniper chest. It holds the energy that allows the Gupins to fly and change shape. When open, it renews these abilities. Obel says there may not be a ceremony. Then we see a flashback that shows Obel seeing grass trekkers coming to the land of the Gupins and taking away the key that opens the juniper chest. Unfortunately, King Punt was a coward, and he gave the grass trekkers the key. Obel then shares a prophecy that one day a Gupin would be able to open the chest without a key. Ring Ring doesn't believe it, but agrees to help Obel find the key. So do Wicket and Poplu, Tebow, and Nisa. Waterfalls and Endorian grasslands provide challenges to our heroes. Tebow ends up calling the merchants to help them get the Gupin stronghold. Tebow, Poplu, and Obel head to the Grass Trekker Shrine to get the key, while Wicket, Nisa, and Ring Ring head to the Gupin stronghold. Wait, I just Nisa, Ring Ring head. Sorry, Carabast. Head back. Carabast. I'm already wearing my hat. Ring Ring head to the Gupin stronghold. The key was taken back by Obel, and they head toward the Gupin stronghold. Our heroes get inside after Ring Ring is called a wingless and an outcast. King Pint swipes the key from. Is it Pint or Punt?
That was the spell check. It is King Punt. I think isn't it Punt?
Okay. Well, that's what it was written earlier. I was going to say I thought it was Punt. So King Punt. Wait. I just lost my place. There we go. King Punt swipes the key from Obel and tries to open the juniper chest. It won't open and ends up broken. Ring Ring is encouraged by Obel and the Ewoks to try to open the chest without a key. He opens the chest just in time to give Ring Ring wings and for the Gupins to transform into beasts that scare the Grass Trekkers away. Ring Ring is declared king, and he shows mercy on Punt by making him third in command behind Obel.
Dun, dun, dun.
For the record, that is the longest synopsis in Star Wars Reactions history.
I just kept
I loved it.
And oh my gosh. I really like this episode, man. There's a lot here. And I could have written a really short synopsis. I ended up just doing a summary of the entire episode. And so look, if people didn't watch the episode, Aaron, they're up to snuff here. They're up to snuff.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little late on that one, huh?
Oh.
All right, David, go ahead and kick us off with your initial reactions while I regain my breath.
Your talking voice, yeah. No, I think like we were saying here, and I told Aaron, I watched this and I'm like, man, this is really good. And I was very impressed by this episode. And I think it was because it just had a number of really good themes, for children to learn from. And we can go over some of those in our talking points. But I also thought it was really fun to see the new creatures each episode. You're just like the creativity. It's very Lucas-esque, the creativity that these animators have. I really love to see that. And I was really, like I said, impressed with start to finish. And where this episode ends up, and such a wonderful, moral to the story, and how to, have confidence in yourself. I really do love how Ubel has, confidence in him. So does Nisa and Wicket. It's really neat to see friends have that support for Ring Ring. So again, a lot of good stuff. I'm telling you, I'm very impressed with this episode. Not that I liked it, I love this episode. So how about you, your initial reaction?
Well said. For me, I say this each time we do one of these episodes, but this was a lot of fun. This is, I gotta say, this is probably my favorite episode so far. I mean, we're only 8 episodes into the series, but this has been my favorite so far. It was such an 80s story with all the classic 80 twists. And I think that's what I liked about it. The classic heroes over the waterfall, the on a canoe stunt, the classic small people in a giant disguise. Then of course you're dealing with misfits It's classic 80s. Plus, like you said in your opening statements, in your initial reactions, is this, definitely Star Wars, because Star Wars is so myth driven storytelling. This was just so involved in different myths throughout the show. And I mean, kind of, one of the things that jumped out to me, of course, the key being the source of the power to open up the crate, kind of reminded me of the feather that Dumbo had to have in order to fly. But the key wasn't the key, you didn't need the key, just like Dumbo didn't need the feather to save the day. And I love that, especially since, 30 some years down the road, Disney takes over. So it just kind of fits. But it was just a fantastic, fantastic episode. And I got to know, when Pop Lou said it during the episode, G Ki Yunga, I couldn't help but wonder if that was the Ewok version of Carabast.
We gotta, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that, and see if it's used, in those kind of situations.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I'm curious now, because the way it was used at the time, it reminded me of Zeb saying Carabast. So I don't know. That was my Carabast for the day. Let's see how many more times I can see Carabast in the episode. Carabast. So I bet I could say it some more. Carabast. Anyway, Carabast. We're not talking about Ewoks, are we? All right. So, all right. Let's jump into some of our talking points here. And I like the first one you put in, because we were talking about, talked about themes and myths throughout this episode. And the first talk point you put in was the almost the King Arthur myth of a person needing to be worthy in order to do something. And in this case, we talk about the worth of Ring or whoever to unlock the juniper chest instead of, using the key. And of course, we had King Arthur, he had to be worthy to pull the sword from the stone, and just kind of the mirror image of that. What are your thoughts on that, David?
Oh yeah, I immediately noticed that. And towards the end, to build kind of tension, you see quote unquote King Punt up there trying to open that thing with the key, actually. And of course it doesn't work, which I think is just perfect, yeah, and I just something came to me as I was telling you that. I can see King Punt trying to do that, and it breaks and falls down, and it's like, well, how do we open it now? And of course, Ring gets up there, and he is worthy. He can pull the sword from the stone. He can open the juniper chest. I just thought about Rey in The Force Awakens, 2015. The sword goes flying past the unworthy one, Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, and it goes to Rey. Another example of, that King Arthur theme. And I thought it was really neat that they put it in here, and just really enjoyed it. And again, I think I mentioned it in my initial reactions. I talked about a lot of things for kids to learn. Well, one of them is, what kind of heart do you have? Are you worthy of good things? Try to do those good things. Have a good heart. And I think that's something I hope kids learned in the 80s from an episode like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. It kind of looks like to me, one thing we can compare that to as well is Thor's hammer. The worthiness of Thor's hammer. Whoever shall be worthy shall be able to possess the power of Thor. I can't remember verbatim, but I think it was along that lines that Odin whispered into the hammer. And we see in like in Age of Ultron, we see everybody. We see Iron Man, we see Hulk, we see Black Widow, we see all of them trying to lift the hammer, and the only one who then of course when it was Steve Rogers' turn, he grabs it and he gets it to move just a hair, and of course they're interrupted and he doesn't get to finish. And of course it's just kind of, you see Thor's eyes just kind of bulge out of his head when it happens. But it's that kind of worthiness. It's what's on the inside, because everybody in that room was heroes. But
right.
just because you're a hero, does that make you worthy enough? What is the condition of the heart? What is the condition of, what is the motives behind it? What are the motives pure? Are the motives honest? Are the motives in line with what's good? And I think that was definitely portrayed in this episode with the juniper chest and not having the key, because you see, of course, King Punt can't do it, and of course he is definitely got the wrong. He's definitely not worthy. His motives are all jacked up. It's all about power. It's all about being in control. And he's not worthy. And I think this whole episode was a fantastic way to show that, what's inside matters.
Oh, exactly. And I think I just was thinking about it as you were describing that so well. The name that they give this, again, quote unquote, king is Punt. Like, what's the old saying? Like, if you don't know what to do, just punt,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think it's a name for this guy, for this particular Gupin. It's just punt, man. You don't know what to do. You're not worthy. You don't have the heart, and you don't know what to do. And so, it's just really well done within a children's program, and great, I think, for kids, to see. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And another thing too that this episode did so well is dealing with self-confidence, because we have Ring who doesn't have his wings. He's left his people because of the name calling and being an outcast, and he felt like an outcast. But we see Wicket and Nisa, trying to encourage him and pick him up and boost his spirits and motivate him to believe in himself, that he can do these things that he wants to do, but he's just not confident in doing.
Yeah. I very much wanted to write down these various themes, and this is another big one. Sometimes, we don't always have our best days, and again, as a psychologist, here's a quick little psychology corner. We talk about people criticizing us. Well, unfortunately, we can be really good at criticizing our own selves. We don't need anybody else to do it. So again, that old saying, Aaron, we're our own worst critics. So, as you see Ring struggling here, I just really love the support that Wicket and Niece give Ring. And you need that sometimes. Sometimes you're doing pretty good. Sometimes you're like, you need that attaboy, attagirl. And so that theme of others believing in you as well, whether you have parents, friends, coaches, professors, teachers, etc. It is a big, big help in a world that can really be critical and try to get you to believe you can't do it. So I really love seeing this theme in this episode as well.
Oh no, absolutely. It was one thing these episodes have done, and I really miss this from the 80s. It are these themes that they put in these episodes. Everything has to be, back then it was all about entertainment. Then that's when everybody started being like, these shows have to be educational as well. Well, guess what? They were educational before people started messing with them to force education into it. They had morals, they had stories, they taught lessons. I keep going back to G.I. Joe, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. You had this incorporated into these shows willingly, voluntarily, without being forced. And I think that's what's missing from a lot of today's shows.
Yeah, they're in there, and we've always said this about Lucas, right? What a great thing to do to be so entertaining, so cool, but you're actually learning something as well.
Mm-hmm.
What a concept, right? What a concept.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. With so much awesomeness in this, because we've talked about the worthiness theme. We've talked about the theme of believing in yourself, as was a biggie in this episode. But nothing would have succeeded in this episode without teamwork. And friendship and teamwork was a huge part of this episode, with the Ewoks and Ring Ring from escaping the reefs. Reeks or reaps?
The reap, R-E-A-P. Yeah, reap.
Reap. Yeah, it's because you reap what you sow. So, yeah, exactly. So we have them escaping the reaps, and it took teamwork and to escape the reefs. It took teamwork to take down the grass trekkers, and it took teamwork to battle them while Ring Ring was able to open the chest. So it was amazing to see the teamwork, because teamwork has been huge throughout Star Wars anyway, because you see that in the battle and the escape from the Death Star with Princess Leia during the rescue. You see that in the Battle of Yavin. You see that in the Battle of Hoth. You see it in Return of the Jedi with the rescue of Han, and then of course the Battle of Endor. It's all teamwork and friendship what got the story told and saved the day for everybody. So it was fun to see that animated into this story as well, because it was just the way it played out was just perfect.
Oh, well, no question. And I had to think about it when, Wicket's like, we want to help. We want to be teammates. We want to support you. And then when Wicket says, Ring Ring, we want to help you because you helped us save Wicket's father. I think the episode was to save Deej, I think was the name.
Yeah.
And in a previous episode this season. And so I thought that was beautiful. You try to help people without, having strings attached, but here Ring Ring does something nice, and here's Wicket saying, hey, here's our opportunity to do it, and there's a reciprocity there. And that's, I think, again, from a psychological perspective, in good relationships there's reciprocity. It's not just one way, just givers or takers. And so again, that's why I felt so motivated to write out the whole episode. I thought it was so good from start to finish. But this theme as well, teamwork and friendship, is just front and center. And I like what you said, that multiple points within this adventure, they need to have teamwork, or it wouldn't be a success.
Absolutely. And it literally goes back to especially when I know you brought up it was Wicket talking about, we want to do this because you're your friend, but also because you helped our father, you saved our father. It goes back to what I said a moment ago. You reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
And and definitely Ring Ring was reaping the benefits of his heroic and his good and pure actions in the past. And it was good to see that. And of course, that brings us to the other theme you dropped in our notes here that was in here, of course, which is the theme of the unlikely hero.
Right.
The wingless Gupin who saves the day, who doesn't believe in the prophecy.
Right.
He's a very unlikely hero.
It's classic, right? It's classic storytelling, and it's neat to see. I think it goes perfectly with what you mentioned earlier, about classic 80s shows where there's the misfits, and out of one of them, is kind of the hero. There kind of be heroes as a team, and there might be one who's kind of the hero. And in this case, it is Ring Ring, and I like to see that. I do like that underdog, and someone who's had the stuff thrown at him, the criticisms, and it's always nice to see that underdog or the unlikely hero succeed. So it's very appealing to the emotions, to the feels, and so I thought that was, again, just something else we definitely needed to touch base on out of all these themes. I mean, these are the best themes, man, right? Even I didn't even put Found Family, like Wicked and Nisa, Ring Ring and Ubel and all them, and so any good themes. But any thoughts you have on that about the unlikely hero? Or
well, with the whole theme of the unlikely hero, it was, I couldn't help but especially with this being an 80s show, I couldn't help but going back to like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, right.
Yeah, again, another unlikely hero, somebody who was an outcast from the other reindeers who ran away. Ring Ring ran away. I mean, the story is very parallel, but then of course it is that unlikely hero who returns home and saves the day. Rudolph comes back and saves Santa, and Christmas is saved. Flies the sleigh, glides the sleigh through the storm. Ring Ring comes back, battles the grass trekkers, opens the chest, and saves the Gupins with no key, I might add. So it definitely was just a fantastic story. And it's honestly the same story as Rudolph, but just compacted into a shorter version. And I loved how they told the story with Ring Ring, and he held on to that, to that hurt and stuff that he felt, and that's why he ran away. But to see him, and especially in a kid show, to see that put aside for the good of his people and what he knows to be right was just fantastic to see as it played out.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
All right, and you want to take this final note you dropped in here, because I didn't catch it, so I need to go back and rewatch it, because I didn't catch. I saw that when I printed out the notes. I'm like, huh?
Wait, yes. Well, there, like I mentioned earlier, there's so many like creative things that these animators put in, and this is 1985, and Return of the Jedi's come out in the summer of '83, and I have back at our show notes for previous vintage reactions coverage of these Ewok episodes, but I've seen Return of the Jedi callback. And this one, it really remember outside of Jabba's palace, you see is it a wart? W-O-R-R-T, I think that's the correct, right? And all of a sudden it goes whoosh with its tongue and eats that like small bug, Yeah. Right, just badoosh, right? You see it very quickly outside of, just a little fun thing that Lucas wanted to put in. Well, in this episode, it's pretty quick. You see this tree, and again, you don't think anything's happened. Opens its mouth and bam, eats a bug real quick. And I just thought it was like an homage, just like a subtle yet fun homage to that little clip from Return of the Jedi. Again, the proximity in time is pretty close here. So if you look back, just take a look and you will see a tree eat a bug. Not a bird or an animal, but a tree. So it's pretty creative. So I had to throw that little Easter egg homage in there.
Oh my gosh, there it is. That's
you see
funny.
It?
Yes. Oh my gosh. How did I miss that when I watched it the first time? Oh my gosh. I watched it like 3 times. How did I miss that?
It's a total Return of the Jedi homage.
Oh, it sure is. There's no way there's no way they didn't purposely do that to nod to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Fun little stuff in there. Yeah.
Ha,
Fun little stuff.
love it.
No, I'm
Love
glad
it.
you watched it on there and we're live, recording live. I'm glad you saw that. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
cute. It's
Yeah,
cute.
just pulled it up. Yeah, there it is. Plain as day. So, all right. Anything else you want to talk about before we go into our final thoughts for this episode?
No, I feel really good about what we've covered here.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I will, since you kicked us off with the initial reactions, I will close us out first with our final reactions. For me, like I said, this was just a fantastic episode. Definitely my favorite to date so far. I absolutely loved it, with the multiple lessons being taught, that were clearly spelled out in the way that only an 80s show could do it. I don't think I could ever see a modern day animated show squeeze in so many lessons into a 22-minute episode as they did in this episode. So it's just incredible how they did that. And so happy for Ring Ring the King. But he just an awesome story. And we don't, I honestly, if you listen to our normal reviews, we grade our episodes, and we don't grade the vintage reactions because they've been out for so long. But if we were going to grade these, this would be an easy A. No doubt about that. So, David, tell us your final reactions, final thoughts about this vintage reaction episode.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Maybe more than any other episode. This one, it has all kinds of great things for children and, quite frankly, the adults who are sitting with them to learn. And I love that. We've talked about all the different themes. The unlikely hero, the underdog saves the day. I've always particularly enjoyed that. But just so impressed with this episode. Consistent with Aaron, it is my favorite so far. Because of everything that's packed into it. I like the reference back to, a previous episode where Ring does help save Wicket's dad, their father, and I love the little homage we just mentioned a minute ago to Return of the Jedi. You're always going to win me over when you do that. And again, just such a good episode from start to finish, with really good, wholesome themes that I don't know how you can make an argument that you wouldn't want kids to learn these, no matter what your religious orientation, political orientation, you name it. These are really good themes for young people to learn. So very impressed. And I agree with Aaron. If we did grade it, it would be just an easy A.
Very good. Very good. Well, we want to hear from you and hear what you think of the new, or of this episode of Vintage Reactions, of the land of the Gupins. Of course, you can hit us up on Facebook or Twitter at SW Reactions Pod, or Instagram and Pinterest and or Tumblr, where our show notes are at SW Reactions. Or, of course, you can email us anytime at swreactions@gmail.com. Very good. Very good. David, how about you, my friend? If somebody wants to talk Star Wars with you, how would they go about doing that?
Absolutely. Two different ways. They're the best ways. One is Twitter, and that is at David_Modders, Modders. There is an S on the end. Hit me up on Twitter. The other one is Instagram. It's just simply my name, David Modders. Look that up. And as I've said in previous episodes over the last several months, I wanted to do a better job of posting, and I have. Aaron knows I have. I tried to kind of break it down a little bit. Day 1 and day 2 of my trip earlier this month in June 2023 to the Galactic Star Cruiser. So I try to do 5 pictures per post and just kind of pick some of the best stuff out of there. And so I did, 4 of those over time, and I've gotten a lot of really good responses, buddy, from those. And I'm going to try my best to post more there. and hopefully people will enjoy that. So those are the two different ways to get in touch with me.
Very good. Very good. So, of course, if you do want to talk Star Wars with me, the best way to do that is, of course, at Twitter at TAHarris121079. Best place to always find me and talk Star Wars at any time. Well, before we go into our final or our regular way we close the episode, I did want to take a few moments and make a quick announcement. Of course, David and I had talked about this this past week about what's coming up at the end of August, which, of course, everybody knows that is the highly anticipated brand new series, Ahsoka. So we want to, of course, be ready for Ahsoka, and we want to talk to y'all and hear from y'all about Ahsoka. So, of course, to do that, we figure out what would be the best way to do that. So we have decided that at the end of July, which will be our, where'd my calendar go? July 28th. It's the episode July 28th episode, okay? We are going to do what we're going to dub our listener interaction episode, listener feedback episode. To do that, we have set up a awesome little thing that you can now use, and we will be posting links in our show notes. We'll be posting links all over our social media so you can get to it easy. We have set up a SpeakPipe account. What that is that allows you to go to the link you can click the link or the QR code that we will be posting and sharing. You can go and record a 90-second message, which will be delivered to us, and we will play on the show. It's your way to be involved in the episode and be involved in the show. So our first episode, like I said, is going to be the 28th, and it's going to be all about what do you hope to get from Ahsoka?
Nice.
So what do you hope to get? Whether it's a character you're hoping to see, a story or a question you're hoping to have answered, what do you hope to get from Ahsoka? This is just a way to get you and to get others hyped up. I mean, if you're not hyped up already, I'm super hyped. But if you're not hyped up already, this is a way to get hyped up for Ahsoka. And this is your opportunity to be a part of that conversation. So if you're listening, of course, you can go to speakpipe.com/Star Wars reactions and record your message now, or of course, hit the show notes. Grab the link there, or of course keep an eye out on social media. We'll have a graphic with a QR code which you can just use to get there as well. So be a part of the action. We do ask, since we are going to be releasing that on the 28th, the 28th of July, we do request that the cutoff date for submission is going to be the 26th of July. So you have till Wednesday, the 26th, to get your voicemail in. It doesn't have to be done immediately. You got a couple weeks to do it if you want to get your thoughts together and make and record a message. You can definitely do that. But by Wednesday, the 26th, get your thoughts submitted, and you will be a part of the first ever Star Wars Reactions fan-led episode. So
nice.
It is just something we want to do to bring y'all in, to be closer to the episode, and involve y'all in the show. Because, like I said, we love doing this, but I mean, we love y'all too. Y'all are awesome listeners, and y'all have some awesome thoughts and some awesome opinions, and I think they need to be shared. So let's share them. So get it done. Join us, record your message, get them to us, and we're good to go. Any thoughts, David?
No, I'm excited, and I appreciate you setting that up, and I'm just really excited to hear what our listeners are thinking about this just really exciting show coming up. I'm excited for this with Dave Filoni and Rosario Dawson and the whole crew, and like I said, I'm curious to see what our listeners are thinking and what they're hoping to see.
You know who I want to see?
Oh, I know.
I've already seen him. I've already seen him in the trailer too.
Yeah, starts with a CH. Yeah.
Starts with the CH and ends with an upper. And it rhymes. And it rhymes with Whopper. Great. Now
I'm going out on a limb. Wait, Chopper.
Oh, Hera.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, Hera. Jeez.
Of course.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord help us. Anywho. Well, David, now that the business is out of the way, it is time for this week's Star Wars Dad Joke of the Week.
All right.
Are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, this one, of course, since we just did a vintage reactions and we were talking about Ewoks, the Ewok series, I figured what a better way to end the show than with an Ewok joke.
Nice.
All right. So here we go. David, did you hear about the Ewok who mugged the stormtrooper?
No, I did not hear about the Ewok who mugged the stormtrooper.
Yeah, it was a stick-up.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. What horrible!
It was a stick-up.
Oh, perfect for this reaction. Perfect. Oh my God.
It was a stick-up. All right. Well, David, my friend, this has been a blast as always.
Oh my gosh. Great time, buddy. Love reacting with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Y'all are the best. You're the greatest. We love y'all. We're praying for y'all. Do something kind for somebody this week. Just, you never know what a little bit of kindness will do for somebody. It'll change their lives. It'll change your life. So just go out and do something kind. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
If you'd like to share your thoughts, you can email us at show@starwarsreactions.com for our show notes and the latest news from the Star Wars universe. Visit our website at www.starwarsreactions.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWReactionsPod or on Facebook at Star Wars Reactions. If you enjoy our show, please leave a review on iTunes. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.